So good evening.
Really? Okay, the time is now 6 o'clock, and I'm going to call the meeting of the Tipp City School Board to order. As I get myself prepared. Just kidding. All right, at this time, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Let's do it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. At this time, we'll take attendance.
Okay. Sorry.
You're good.
Mrs. Drum?
Here.
Mr. Maines?
Here.
Mrs. Dillard?
Here.
I am here. Kyle,
Here.
It's been a long day.
I'm here.
Thank you.
It's very weird when you're not used to doing it too. So
Sorry.
just saying. All right. At this time, I would love to have a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Mr. Thompson
I'll second.
and seconded by Mr. Maines. Is there any discussion? Okay. I would wait. Is it on here already? Oh, the records and organizational meeting date is listed, but do we need to put anything else with the motion? No, okay.
No,
I just
we
want to
were
make
good.
sure it was on there. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm good.
Well, good.
All right. Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Right? Thompson?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Motion to approve the agenda passes. All right, we will start with the student recognition from superintendent.
So we got quite a few kids to recognize here tonight. We're gonna start off with the Broadway kids. And again, I'll call your name up here. You come up where I call your name. I'll give you, shake your hand, give you a certificate. You'll walk down this daunting aisle, line of people here, shake their hands, and then you can go get your picture taken like that. Maybe have all the kids from the school. You can get your picture taken over there. If you want to do it single with your parents, you're welcome to get up and go over there as well to get pictures taken. Okay? And if you have questions, just ask. All right, so we're at Broadway Elementary. We have, and again, if I butcher your name, tell me. Noah Giosi and is it Kason Ferris? They are nominated for the Caring Award. So we have Noah. All right. Certificate. There you go.
Congratulations.
They went above and beyond to make another student feel included and had peers to play with them for the new students. So again, stepping out and helping out another kid. So congratulations to them. Ronan Williams. Ronan is the Handy Helper Award for being helpful and being a kind friend. Congratulations. And then we have the Shining Star Award goes to, I got Josie Dillard, Cameron Hufford. And this because they always show always represent being respectful, responsible, and have integrity day in and day out. So congratulations.
Yay, good job. Congratulations, sir. Excellent work. Excellent work.
Good job, Cameron.
Good job.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Have it.
Parent Jet, you're welcome to go over and get the pictures. All right, while they're, whoa. That's all right, they're safe. It's pretty light.
There you go. Take a step forward. Good job.
All All right, at LT Ball, we have some academic persistent award nominees here tonight. So the three students, Tegan Lawhorn, Araceli Bustos, and Alexis Fitro, have recognized. They're being recognized for their academic persistence. All three have worked really hard to improve their reading fluency and have increased their performance by 3 levels. And we're only a few months into the year. How far are you gonna get? Like really far, right? So, Araceli, is that?
She's right there.
She's not here. No, she's not. Okay, she's not coming. We have Alexis. Congratulations, Alexis. And Tegan. Congratulations. There you go. At the middle school, we have the middle school student senate members. We'd like to recognize those students for their great work this year. They've already done a lot of things to help out the school, their building, but also the school district. And so far, they come over here to LT Ball to read and read to the kids, younger grades here. They also have, when's the shopping night? Is it next Saturday or Friday night? December, yeah, December, the first week back, Friday or Saturday?
It's gonna be a Friday.
Friday night, parents can drop off their kids for an evening of play, $10 a kid.
$10 a kid.
$10 a kid for a few hours from the middle school senate. At the middle school, they get to play and you can maybe take a break for a couple minutes. And then they also been doing a lot with the spirit in the building as well. So we want to thank them for all their work. And let's see, I have Lillian Anderson. She's here. Emily Ayers. Harper Bathgate. Penelope Bayman. Ellie Bentley. Lucy Brewster. Kalina Chanel. Can I put you out? No, all right. Stella Deischer. Not here, okay. Micah Denton. Kaylee Elkinger. Savannah Gambill. Carly Griffith. Is it Reagan Hayes? Stella Herring. Stella. Alicia Judge. All right. Is it Jenna Ludak? Luke, okay. Isabella Poffenberger? Not here. Nolan Sharpnack? Addison Stacy? And Charlotte Stark? sorry. And Annabelle Taylor. There we go. I think they're pretty responsible. I let my kids hang out with them for a couple of hours. I trust them.
How long is that? 2 hours?
Oops. Sorry. And then at the high school, we wanted to recognize our Dayton Literary Peace Prize winners. These students, every year the high school is fortunate to host an author who won the Peace Prize, and they were able to interact, ask questions, and they did a really nice job this year and really show a high level of engagement and interaction with the author in pretty amazing ways. So I want to recognize those kids who are the winners. We have Court Cooper. Eliana Denton. Best part about being the winner? Going to the gala. Getting all dressed up, huh? Allie Goff. Meeting him. It was interesting, huh? Evie Gold. Your favorite part of did you enjoy the book?
I did enjoy the book, but probably the luncheon was
The
my
lunch
favorite.
at all, getting to interact close with them.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Lucas Heitbrink. Marissa Holton. Audrey Kinninger. Jayla McDonald. Nope. Adil Mehta. I've seen him. Your favorite part? Food. Okay. Eli Ramos. Not here. And Jenna Scraley. What's your favorite part? So again, take pictures if you want to take pictures, but if you're here, you're welcome to stay, or now's the opportunity if you're interested in getting some homework done. Yeah.
I know. Good week for this kid.
I find him around.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have one. So it's in case she goes to bed.
So how many activities, how much do you do?
I don't know. I didn't even look.
I thought you were gonna
Oh, I didn't even look. Oh, I have not looked yet.
I think we
Sorry.
should go with that one thing that you sent everybody. That
That we don't have to do
says,
this.
yeah, we don't have to do it.
Amen. That they have to, they can contact us on, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. That was, out of all those things that you had in there, that was the one that struck me.
Yeah.
You gonna say?
Okay.
Okay.
Building project updates.
All right, bye, Vic. See you later.
I'm okay now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, next item of business is a building project update. Mr. Moran?
So we are fortunate, we have got all our people together, our team is in place. We have, our construction manager was just selected, and that is Shook Construction. So OFCC and us selected Shook as the construction manager. We have Garmin Miller as our architect. OFCC is a co-partner, and we are heavily thinking about the design, the potential designs, and working on ways to make this a great building, and looking forward to it's gonna be a long process, I know, but there's a lot of excitement to create a wonderful educational environment for our kids and for the community, so excited about that. We have a kickoff tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, but excited about the potential, what's gonna happen.
Okay. Any questions, comments? I'm very excited. Everything's starting to fall into place, so I feel like it's been forever, so I'm excited. Okay, next is going to be nutritional standards.
So this is just, again, awareness information that we have to follow our nutritional standards set by the USDA, and that's all listed on here. So again, we do that every year as an awareness, and that we're complying with state laws, and federal laws, excuse me.
And then under public content is the nutritional standards in our school. Mrs. Kim Hagan has given us some information listed there under public content, as well as our board policies, 8500 and 8510, and then our Tipp City Schools compliance with nutritional standards, 11.19.24. Is listed there as well under public content. Anyone have any questions? Concerns? All right. Okay, moving on. Okay, at this time, citizens may address the board. I will hit the list. Give me 1 second. Oh, thank you. I meant to grab it when I was up and I forgot. Just as a reminder, public content is listed under the information policy. I've been reading it for quite a few months now, so I'm assuming at this point we understand that we are supposed to have decorum.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you at all.
We're supposed to have decorum and be kind and respectful to each other.
Thank you.
Moving on. Mr. Watson, you may go first. You have 5 minutes.
If we smile, it will return to you.
I'm sorry, you did not state your address or what you'll be talking about, sir.
Thank you, I can hear you here. My name is Don Watson. This isn't even coming across. Probably going to YouTube. West State Route 571, Tipp City, Ohio. The Holy Bible is God's holy word to us. What he mentions is 1,310 times, 450 times righteousness, sanctification 10 times, and holiness 850 times. They all mean the same thing if you look in Webster's dictionary. In May, Pope Francis was interviewed by Nora O'Donnell. She asked him, what was the two biggest problems in the world? He said, indecisiveness and the family unit falling apart. I think he's exactly right, and he believes in the holy word of God. In Hebrews 12:14, it says, peace with all men, and the sanctification without which no one will see the Lord. My comment here is on Facebook. Since the election, we had two ladies in town pronouncing that they were not going to be part of Republicans. They didn't want nothing to do with them. That's not peace with all men. In June, we had open sessions for the public's input. I didn't join the group because I had COVID. So the superintendent did not let me talk. Nice guy. We're paying him $165,000 to do his job. There was 12 people there. They drawed up models. What happened to them if we're just starting to draw up the school? They had good input. What it should be, what I wrote down that night and was not able to talk about, it should be K through 4, a building built like the castle. We should have 3 buildings built like the castle, one K through 4 and one 5 through 8. No long hallways. The middle one would be the gym and cafeteria. You can build, like Minster said, on the outside and make it look like a nice old school, but you can build it on the inside like you want it. And if you build the castle buildings repeatedly, you have no long halls. In Matthew 7, it tells us, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are raven wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles are they. Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next is Missy Detweiler.
I'm thinking small.
Hi, my name is Missy Detweiler. I live at 6135 Petzold, Tipp City, Ohio.
Awesome. And what are you talking about?
Privacy.
Awesome. And you have 5 minutes. I didn't know if you knew that. Okay.
Right. Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for taking the time to hear me out on this. Recently, I actually have 3 sons. They've all gone through the Tipp City schools. I've got one that's a junior in high school right now. Love the Tipp City community. I love the school systems, but I'm just really concerned about the privacy of girls who are using the restroom with people they've gone to school with since they were kindergarten that identified as males that are now using the women's restrooms. I'm a grown adult. I personally would never be comfortable with this, but I've heard the girls say over and over and over that they're very uncomfortable with it. So I just want to know really basically how this is being addressed as far as like, do the girls have the right to not share a public bathroom with people who have biologically been born as men? So do you guys answer those questions, or?
We are not allowed to answer. Can I tell
Sure.
you what you could do? You could send an email directly to either Mr. Moran or the principal themselves, and they'll be able to give you some more information as to what's going on,
Okay.
specifically in each building.
Okay.
That's and you'll get an answer that way, but we cannot
Address
your concern here in
Okay.
this meeting.
Okay. So basically, I'm just here to voice that I'll be reaching out to Mr. Moran and others on the behalf of the privacy of young women and young men to have the bathroom facilities as one or the other, and to not have to share with people that they previously knew as the opposite sex. So thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Bone?
Hi, my name is Kathy Bone. I live on Michaels Road in Tipp City, taxpayer, and I'm going to hit a few topics this evening. This school board never seems to amaze me with the lack of care in policy, contracts, or spending the taxpayers' money. First, I see you're signing a contract for an owner representative for the school building project. I do not know why we need this person. It was stated by Mr. Moran and Mrs. Hagan they were too busy to oversee the project, and we had to hire this person. Why wasn't the public told that the administration did not have time or want to spend the time overseeing this project, and more personnel would have to be hired to oversee it before we even voted on it? There are enough people being supplied by the OFCC to manage it. They have complete oversight to the project and make sure every day that things are being done properly by the contractors that they have to approve for the project. I also question how this person's going to be paid. I heard it said in a previous meeting that the interest from the bonds would pay his salary. I read the OFCC contract you're signing tonight at least 3 times. I kind of doubt that any of you picked it up to read it even once. If I'm reading it correctly, you cannot pay him with interest from the bonds. When the high school was built, the interest accrued was used to pay down those bonds. So I think the public needs to understand why we need to hire extra personnel and how they will be paid. Next is the treasurer's report. I doubt any of you read that either. Mr. Stevens saying that he is currently seeing lower payments from the expenditures in the personal services and employment benefits funds due to the reduction in force. I believe honestly these lower payments are probably really because the school switched from the self-insured plans that were recommended by Mr. Stevens, in which the school lost a lot of money, and switched back wisely to the group insured plan, and I think that's what's saving the money. If anyone noticed, we've hired more people than people that were RIFed, and the school district also made up job titles for new administrative personnel such as the dean of students and now an owner representative for the building. So RIFing staff, I believe, really had nothing to do with these declines in the funds. The school board just recently passed the teacher's contract without the public seeing the salary pages, and the teachers are getting raises. So I think RIFing of staff was nothing more than a game. Furthermore, why hasn't Mr. Moran or a board member put on the agenda the topic of Mr. Moran's salary cut? Mr. Moran promised to the community on live TV in April, when he decided to RIF staff, that he would take a $10,000 salary cut. With what he's being paid, that's not much, but he owes it to the school. His pay needs to be decreased like he offered, and the back pay back to April needs put back in the school's pocketbook. Lastly, I want to read a Facebook post by a member of the community and a response back to her. Person says, "No, we might not be able to be friends. When people say we can be friends no matter how we vote, it comes from a place of privilege. I have real friends on my page who are rightfully concerned that their marriages will now be invalidated or they won't have access to needed health care. Those friends don't have the same privilege, all because they are women, persons of color, or LGBTQ. Politics are one thing, but morals are another. People voting for Trump, Moreno, and other bad actors literally tore rights away from other people yesterday. That's not something to just set aside. She went on to say, I'm unfriending and blocking ignorant or hateful people today, and I won't feel a bit sorry for it. A Tipp City school board member replied to her, Nicolette, me too. I am done with them. So while everyone has the right to free speech, this board member was on a public forum when she posted this, and that is not okay. She just told everyone that she is a biased person, that she has chosen not to support anyone who does not agree with her or vote for the candidate of her choice. This makes me wonder if anyone coming before this board, whether a student, faculty member, or taxpayer, will be treated differently because of who we voted for. She should step down. Shame on her. Angie McMurray, shame on you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to information reports. We have the Miami Valley CTC meeting minutes. Mr. Maines?
Yes, you've got the minutes before you, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same standard format as what we have here at our meetings. We had a few resignations, we had some retirements, we had some new hires, and so forth. But I also want to give some information I think is very important to give out to the public now. It's all important to the public, but MVCTC is going to be hosting Sophomore Career Days on December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So that concludes on December 5th with an open house from 4:30 to 7 o'clock that evening. So families are invited to tour the campus and meet with staff members and enjoy a free spaghetti dinner. So if you like spaghetti, that's a good time to go. Over the 3 days of the career days, we're going to host approximately 3,500 students and guests from our partner school districts. So it's a big event. So, and again, the sophomore open house is on December 5th from 4:30 to 7. Also on December 9th, that's the last day on the campus for students before the holiday break and the end of the first semester. And we have, in our schools, we have student ambassadors. And the student ambassadors are actively visiting partner schools to engage with the sophomores about the MVCTC and its career technical programs. So it's a good place to find out what it's all about and what we're doing. During these visits, ambassadors share insights about their programs, provide essential information about CTC, and assist sophomores in completing a career interest survey. This survey helps students identify 2 career technical programs that they would like to explore further during the sophomore career day. And we have from Tipp High School, 3 of our students are those ambassadors. So I'd like to give a shout out to those 3 kids from our school system, Antonio Duran, Briley Barton, and Riley Hall. So that's pretty good that they're doing that. Also, a few things have happened in the past month. Broadway Elementary School, on Tuesday, October 8th, the CTC students visited Broadway Elementary School in Tipp City to engage over 125 kindergarten students. And the visit focused on helping the young learners explore their 5 senses with fun and interactive activities. So CTC students designed engaging experiences that taught the kindergartners about their 5 senses: smell with the culinary arts, sight with the graphic commercial art, and this one was special to me, sound, and it was criminal justice and firefighters and EMS. And it was important to me because our own Trey Bottles from Tipp City was the one, along with Carolyn Claylon from Eaton, who led that part of the program. Then on Friday, October 18th, CTC took part in a career day event at LT Ball. And so it was led by career exploration coordinator Todd Engel and a team with students in grades 3 through 5. The event offered our young learners the opportunity to explore various career options, connect with industry leaders through meaningful conversations, and gain hands-on experience in different fields. So Tipp has been very involved, and our students have been very involved, and it's been a very good thing. So, I'm proud of all of them. That's my report.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Maines.
Mm-hmm.
Any other reports?
So, Tipp Monroe Community Services, so they're in full swing with the holiday season. They do sponsor families, so if you want to donate, you can donate toys and food for families that are on the list. They have the Christmas light tour coming up where families can sign up their lights. And also they have the big tree lighting downtown right there at 3rd Street coming up. This year, in partnership with the downtown Tipp City Partnership, there's going to be a holiday parade. So that's coming up this week, Saturday. So lots of fun holiday things going on. The Parks Board was the quickest meeting I've ever been to in my entire life. So they just approved, and they kind of work with Tipp Monroe Community Services too. So I guess Tipp Monroe Community Services actually handles all of the rental of the parks equipment kind of thing. So lots of people hold 5Ks for fundraisers and there's no charge. So a number of 5 and 10Ks were approved at Kyle Park. And then the gentleman that donated the money for the covered shelters at Lesher Woods right by the high school, he spoke and thanked the city for their partnership. It is being used. You can park right there on that little cul-de-sac on Don Davis Way. But they're very nice shelters if you haven't seen them. And I know that some of the, they said that some of the teachers at the high school are already using them for the things. But you can enter them from the other side, Manchester Woods, I guess, also. So that's all.
Awesome.
I'll just say a T, talking about grants, and the T actually received as deadline 17 applications, which is the highest number of applications for grants that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we have a lot of teachers, staff members that are looking for ways to enhance the learning, and T's have been a great supporter of those.
And then I was going to say, as far as T goes as well, Teacher of the Year and Red Devil of the Year are going to actually happen in January, so we're very excited about that. And then they also created an amazing newsletter that'll be going out to people as well. And if you're interested in knowing more about getting that newsletter, let us know. We'll be happy to put you on our friends list. Okay. Any other? All right. Let's see, we're going to have, we'll move down to our treasurer's report, monthly financial report, and Mr. Moran will be giving us the information today.
So again, the monthly report looking at the income, and again, our property taxes, unrestricted grant and aids and all that's come in. Dave has listed everything out, nothing unusual in there. And then expenditures, personal, employee benefits, purchase services. Again, we'll talk briefly about this more on the 5-year forecast, but they are down from previous year, and it'll reflect positively on the 5-year forecast when we hit that. So again, things are as normal, looking fairly positive on that end at this time. And one of the things, if you look on the capital outlay part, and this goes to a question Mr. Maines had, the capital outlay is where the LT Ball renovations for the new classrooms came from. So that 198 came from capital outlay funds, as well as a water pump that needed to replace at the high school. That came from that specific one. So, what are the questions? Is there any specific questions people might have in regards to the monthly finance? Okay. The 5-year forecast, I know Mr. Stevens has sent that out to everybody with lots of information on there. I think again, we have a few things to deal with. The right sizing and the financial stewardship has gone from a negative 3.5% projected to a 5.2 projected at the end of 2028. Again, we still have some things to do, including a levy renewal that for 2025. The biennium budget is up in July, and that has to be determined, as well as what's gonna happen with the Fair School Funding Formula Plan. Is it gonna be fully implemented? What are the rates that are gonna be impacted by there? The legislators just, I think, passed the House, and it's going to the Senate, where they said the minimum salary for a teacher is $50,000. Okay, if they make that, where's that money coming from to do that? They've got, there's a lot that'll probably go into this, before the end of the calendar year. Some Christmas tree bills, as they call it, that'll get piled in, but there's a lot to be determined that could impact what we need to do as well. But we won't know that until January 2025 to predict out that. But I expect a little bit of it. I'm hoping for a little bit of an increase on the revenue side from the state funding. The other thing I will note in here, December, so not next week, the following week, the first week, we actually will make the final payment on the high school. So that will be the final payment. So the collection is done with from the county auditors on that piece. So we're, I think that's a good thing for everybody. But just as a, FYI, we will make that final payment on there. So.
And then that will be paid off early, right? Because that was what we had decided at the last meeting, correct? To go ahead and.
No, that was scheduled already.
Okay,
that was a normal schedule. We paid off the bond, paid off the.
That's it.
Middle school, high school.
Thank
and
you
LT
for the
ball
clarification. I appreciate that.
So still have to be looking at our finances and allocating staffing as where needed, and that's something that we do every year, and this year will be no different. We do have some resignations that we have to look and see if attrition is important, looking at staffing numbers for student classes, where are we at with student numbers to to staff appropriately.
Okay. Any questions on the 5-year forecast?
I sent Dave an email after I looked at it because I thought it was really easy to read. I was kind of surprised that the state revenue stayed just a little over 10 million each year. Am I reading that right? That on page 7, and so, but our costs, we have to bring in more locally each year, but theirs stays the same. It's kind of stagnant, which seems unfair to me. Seems like, we should be getting a little more from the state. We should see that line going up a little, like our local revenue. I really liked all the visuals. I thought it was a really easy report to read. And I was glad to see the surplus at the end of 28, but we just have to look at finances every single year.
So we need a motion to approve.
Yeah, sorry, that's the next thing I was gonna do.
Oh, you're okay.
Okay. Yes, I would take a motion at this time to approve the November 2024 5-year forecast.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Maines.
I'll second.
And seconded by Mr. Thompson. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay.
I also noted, I shared with Aaron that when we were doing policy, that I thought it was kind of interesting that with the right sizing, the teacher salaries really, we didn't have, I thought we were gonna have a huge increase, but they were pretty, there's one spot where they jump, but actually like this year, the first 2 years, I believe, are lower, if I remember right.
And that's with the negotiated contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
With the step increases and everything, so it's not till out 5 years that But also STRS just changed retirement
Yes.
to full retirement at 33.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
I didn't see that. That's amazing.
but again, thanks to Dave, really great 5-year forecast, easy to read, easy to understand. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. Thanks to Dave and Mr. Moran for the hard work on making this complicated content digestible, easy to understand.
Dave deserves the credit.
It's really, it's like overwhelming to me, all the numbers and all the funds and all of the terminology. So it's really a great report, easy to understand, so.
And school finance is confusing. There's a lot of parts to it, so it's nice to see a report like that. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed to vote on the motion to approve the November 2024 5-year forecast. Whenever you're ready.
Mr. Maines,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mrs. Drum,
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Okay, at this time, the motion has passed to approve the 2025 5-year forecast. At this time, we'll move to consent agenda. If you guys look at the consent agenda, it's prior meeting minutes. There's some retirements in there, resignations, new hires, supplemental positions, substitutes, home instruction tutors, which we already got the information about that as well, that it's required. High dosage tutors also required, surplus property at many locations throughout the buildings because we're getting rid of those things. Donations from the music boosters, thank you. Aaron and Karen Cavis, thank you for the donation. Robert Turner, thank you for the donation. Miami County Foundation grant acceptance, thank you for the donation. And district renewal of insurance that we do yearly. At this time, I would love a motion for approval of the consent agenda items.
I'll motion.
Moved by Mrs. McMurray. Is there a second? Okay, second by Mrs. Dillard. Since it's consent agenda, we don't have to have any discussion. We'll go ahead and proceed to vote.
I vote yes. Mrs. Dillard,
Yes.
Mrs. Drum,
Yes.
Mr. Maines,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
All right, motion passes for the consent agenda items. Number 7, moving on to new business. The A is 24-25 gifted educational plan. We received this for us to look over. Mr. Moran, would you like to finish the discussion?
So we've changed our service model from a pull-out to the teachers working with the teacher or with the kids in the classroom. We've done some cluster grouping as well, but an acceleration, a compacting for the middle or for the LT ball 5th graders. So we're working on improving our service model to our kids and using our staff to help with that. And a lot more discussions and dialogues happening than we've had with this, and we put some focus on this as well. So I'm happy with the first step in making this a reality.
Let's go ahead and put a motion so that we can do discussion. Is there anyone who would like to make the motion for the approval of the 24-25 Tipp City Schools gifted plan?
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Mrs. Dillard. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And seconded by Mr. Maines. Is there any discussion?
I just wanted to say I've received both of my children's gifted information, and I have never had this much information regarding it in the past, and I really appreciated the additional information. There's a PowerPoint that went with it and very descriptive information regarding the plan, because I wanted it to be more than just, acceleration of courses, which are great, but I always asked what else is there. And this is the first time that I've received that additional information, that there are additional things that can be done for students who are identified. So.
Same. This is the first time I've actually received like loads of information to kind of explain what's going on. I do have a question. As far as the teachers having this new program, how is it going in their classroom? Like, are they finding that there's more rigor within our curriculum being provided for these students?
I think working with the instructional coaches and some of the curriculum with wit and wisdom, and they're able to differentiate and scale up and scale down as needed to support students.
Awesome.
It's a learning process, but our teachers have done, I think, a really good job of putting some focus on doing things to engage all learners.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. On the gifted plan for the 2024-2025 school year.
Yep. Mrs. Dillard,
Yes?
Mr. Means,
Yes.
Mrs. Drum,
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Okay, next is maintenance fund earmarking dollars. I would love a motion for approval of the resolution authorizing the school district to earmark dollars to the maintenance fund, Fund 034, in accordance with the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission project agreement. And attached, you will see the information in public content.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Maines,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Thompson. Mr. Moran, did you
So
want to?
again, this is something that's required by OFCC. Typically, it's added on top of, and not typically, in most cases, I'd say it's added on top of the millage that's voted in. However, because we have a permanent improvement levy, we were just going to use the money that we currently collect and put that aside for the project fund. So it doesn't add to our millage rate like it might at other places when you do a bond. And so we're just replacing the current money with it.
How did they determine the amount?
It's a half mil.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and it stayed the same for every year, so.
Yeah,
I was
it's a half
surprised
mil.
It didn't go up.
No,
Yeah,
it's a
okay.
half mil. Whatever a half mil is, that's what it's going to
Okay,
collect.
gotcha. All right, and they set that, right?
Well, the half mil is just over 300,000. That's what
Right.
that's what we're using based on our property values.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Discussion? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to vote on the resolution authorizing the school district to earmark dollars to the maintenance fund in accordance with the Ohio Facilities Commission construction project agreement.
Mr. Means.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mrs. Drum,
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard,
Yes?
and I vote yes.
All right, motion passes. Next, I would love a motion to approve the contract for the owner representative for the school building project.
I'll motion.
Moved by Mr. Thompson,
I'll second.
second by Mrs. McMurray. And Mr. Thompson, did you have any discussion?
No.
Okay.
Everything looks good.
Is there anyone else with well, Mrs. McMurray, did you have any?
No, not at this time.
Is there any other discussion on the owner rep?
Yeah. Who drew up the contract? Is that
I worked
something?
with the attorney
Okay.
to draw up the contract.
Okay, and just as a point of clarification, the owner rep is the person who's representing us as a school district in this building, correct? This building project?
Correct.
So that they are going to look at the OFCC and our architects or whatever and say, maybe this isn't what's going to work, correct? That's his job?
They'll be involved in all that, but the design part, again, it's could be part-time until actual construction happens. The big piece is making sure that we get what we pay for.
Got it.
So
So
when
we're
somebody
gonna
says
get-
we're gonna have 6 inches of asphalt, we make sure we have 6 inches of asphalt.
Fantastic.
When somebody has, they're there all the time to make sure those things happen. We wanna be, you look at the high school and you see what the floor is there.
Oh, it's bad.
That was a problem from the very beginning that has had to been dealt with. We don't want to have those things come up that now we have to reinvest money into. So we want to make sure we're getting what we pay for. And again, I think being, some people say, penny wise and pound foolish. We need somebody that has the understanding to make that happen. And I'm confident in that.
Well, and I think too, when we met with those particular candidates, it was kind of important to hear what they had to say because they had the same experience with other school districts, including Fairborn. I think West Carrollton was the same thing, and they were able to save. I think even with the, I could be wrong on this one, but with CTC, we used one, but they saved a ton of money, from mistakes that are not intentionally made by the contractors and the architects, but they happen. I mean, and they keep the eye on it. So,
Change orders or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Change orders. Yeah.
Kind of like a in-house compliance.
It's a hands-on. Yeah.
It's an extra insurance policy, is what it is. It protects you from a lot. And anybody who's never been a part of a construction project wouldn't understand that. But those who have ever been a part of a construction project understand there's many layers and many facets to it. And if you don't have somebody who's representing you as a community, the interests of the school district, the interests of the citizens involved, through no malicious intent, things will get missed. But if you have this person in place doing this job specifically for this reason, you'll save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, very necessary.
Yeah, and even in the interview, it was interesting to hear them talk about specifics of like things to look for moving forward as we build the building. So I think that was good to hear too. Things that I would have never thought about, like making sure that, your piping has the exact, fittings for each piece and knowing exactly how many to order so that you're not creating a change order and then costing the district more money. So,
Absolutely.
Okay, any other discussion? Sorry, I just wanted to clarify some of that stuff. Okay, hearing none, we will go ahead and proceed to vote on the motion to approve the contract for the owner representative for the school building project.
All right. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mrs. Drum?
Yes.
Mr. Means?
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Next is the motion to appoint William House to fill the trustee position on the Tipp City Library Board for trustees starting January 1, 2025 through December 31st of 2031.
I'll motion to appoint William House to fill the trustee position for the Tipp City Library Board of Trustees.
It's a mouthful.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Dillard and seconded by Mr. Maines for the appointment of William House to fill the trustee position of the Tipp City Library Board of Trustees starting January 1st, 2025 through December 31st of 2031. Is there any discussion?
Just thank you.
Thank you for stepping into that position,
Yeah.
Mr. House. All right, hearing none, we will proceed to vote.
Mrs. Dillard?
Yes.
Mr. Means?
Yes.
Mrs. Drum?
Yes.
Mrs. McMurray? Yes. Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Point of clarification. Do you need one of us to be there? Okay. Thank you. That went to my head next. Okay. All right. Next is the Premier Health Contract Amendment. Whoa. Motion for the approval. I'd love a motion for the approval of the First Amendment to sponsorship, marketing rights, and service agreement between Tipp City Exempted Valley Schools and the Upper Valley Medical Center. And public content, the marketing rights, sponsorship agreement information is enclosed in the PDF. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Okay. And is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And now I'll open up the floor for discussion. Mrs. Diller, did you have anything?
So this is in regards to like trainers of sports?
So part of our contract with the Premier Health is athletic trainers, but also they've had a strength conditioning coach that would be there for after school hours. And that person is moving on to a different position, and we're just not gonna fill it, which means we will get a little more money from it. And I don't see us going back to that position.
So there wouldn't be, we wouldn't consider a strength and conditioning coach again in the future, or are we saying?
Just not through the athletic trainer contract with Premier
Okay.
Health.
Gotcha.
If that's something that we would look to do, we would look to do that in-house probably.
Yeah, okay.
And who will cover the weight room then?
Right now it'd be the coach's
Okay.
responsibilities to do that. And then again, if it's something that we want to do, we'd have to bring that forward to the board.
1.2 FTEs, that just sounds like a pretty small amount considering all the sports. How does that work? Like,
Well, that 1.2 FTE is trainers, so we have a full-time plus, so they're here, again, they're not here during the day.
0.2.
They're here for events in the evening, and the 0.2 coverage. So this is a business decision, and this is a way that they can maybe direct services to their medical operations, I'd say.
I'm just saying, it just seems like, to me, that sounds like a small amount considering all the sports that we have, you know, male and female sports, that I would have thought it would be more trainers than that, the athletic trainers, to cover all the sports all year. That just didn't sound like very much to me. Because how did they go to the football game and the soccer game and the girls and this?
Well, if there's a football game and a soccer game going on, they tend to not be on the same night because you can't have them on the same night for those purposes.
But JV, and they can only be at one spot.
Yeah.
They're not at everything.
Yeah.
They can't be, they do
But
their
like,
best to get
if there's
around.
girls and boys baseball going on, he just goes back and forth between the games. So, whichever one he's needed at.
At least we have one at the beginning of the year. There's a lot of news coverage over many, many, many districts across the state that could not find trainers and therefore could not safely hold their events.
Yeah. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to vote on the First Amendment to Sponsorship, Marketing Rights, and Service Agreement between Sip City Exempted Village Schools and Upper Valley Medical Center.
All right. Mrs. Dillard,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mrs. Drum,
Yes.
Mr. Maines.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right, motion passes. Okay, next I would entertain a motion for the approval to set the meeting date and time for the records and organizational meeting for January 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Maines
I'll second.
and seconded by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion? Wait.
Where is this going to be held? I'm sorry.
Yep, that's a great question.
At the Board of Education office.
Okay. Do you want to make an amendment to add that?
I think we just added.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. So the organizational meeting is separate than the records, though.
The records will follow.
Okay.
Both of them will have
So
the same.
I'm going to make an amendment to this motion to set the meeting date for organizational meeting at 6 p.m. on December 6th. January 6th. January 7th. See, I did it again. At 6 p.m. Followed by
The Records Commission.
the records meeting at 6:30 p.m. to be held at the board office. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Thompson.
Okay, hang on.
Do you want me to read it to you, Ange?
Nope, I got it.
Okay. Okay, so the motion on the table is the meeting of, the organizational meeting at 6 p.m. on January 7th, followed by the records at 6:30 p.m. at the Board of Education office. It was motioned by myself and seconded by Mr. Thompson. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Okay. Mrs. Drum,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Maines,
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Okay. So that was the amended motion. So now the official motion is approval to set the meeting date for the organizational meeting at 6 p.m. on January 7th, and followed by the records meeting at 6:30 p.m. at the board office. Okay, we'll vote again.
Going, and I go back to the original.
Yes.
Mr. Maines?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mrs. Drum?
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Okay.
Ooh,
Motion
Dave's gonna have
passes.
fun with these.
I want to make sure I had to vote right. Okay. So at this time, miscellaneous information are upcoming meetings. So the next work session meeting will occur on December 17th, 2024 at the LT Ball Intermediate School beginning at 5 p.m. And our next regular Board of Education meeting will occur on December 17th, 2024 at LT Ball Intermediate School beginning at 6 p.m. Also, a point of information is May of 2025, there is a renewal levy. Mr. Moran, would you like to discuss that?
Yeah, I believe it's a 1.9 million renewal, emergency renewal levy that will be asked for the voters. This is, again, not new money, it's the same money that was asked back in 2015, I believe. And that was the last time new money was voted in besides the bond levy. Increases have come from our 20 mil floor, but not from new monies with levies since 2015.
Just a reminder.
Motions will be start moving on that in the next few months.
Yes. That's no new money.
It's a renewal.
It's a renewal.
Yep.
Okay, at this time, I will have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll motion.
Moved by Mrs. McMurray. And I will second it. So, any discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed to vote.
I vote yes. Mrs. Drum?
I vote yes.
Mr. Maines?
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
The motion passes. We are now adjourned. The time is now 7:08 p.m.